All right, everyone, welcome back to Central Coast Disc Golf. This is the conclusion of the Innova Open at the 28th Annual Texas State Disc Golf Championship. I'm Nate Perkins, and I'm joined here in the booth with my good friend and fellow native Texan, Connor O'Reilly. Connor, it's been a pleasure, man.
It has been a pleasure and an honor to be here on Central Coast Disc Golf, bringing you the best B-Cam in the game and some amazing highlights so far this weekend. Kind of a slow front nine for our lead card, but we know the back nine plays slightly easier, so after they get through these tough 10th and 11th, look for the scores to start getting down there.
Yeah, hole 10, par 4, it's really asking these players how far they think they can throw low ceiling and straight. And I think we know someone that does that pretty well.
Yeah, we have a term in this game called frozen rope for those lines that you just got to almost keep the disc in the same spot the whole flight, and this is really one of those tee shots, and yeah, definitely that Calvin Heimburg special. AB, though, he's blown our minds a couple times so far. Let's see if he can do it again.
He's got that nuke. Ooh, and the nuke can't handle the heat that time around. Burns it over, but honestly, he burns it over to like 400 feet.
Yeah, it's a spot half the field will be pretty happy with. Calvin, a bit too much hyzer, but he just puts so much pace on the disc, you guys. Most people coming out with that
74 miles per hour.
Aren't
And
getting
he didn't quite get all of it.
Yeah. Joel, super early. There's some tough spots over there, but he kicks backwards where he can at least have a full swing. Though I'm sure his windows are going to have to be very creative if he wants to try to birdie.
It's not good on that left side.
Okay, he'll need maybe like a backhand roller to even think about birdie from there.
I love when Chris does that follow through.
Yeah, kind of drops down to the knee.
That's an unfortunate place to end up right there.
Yeah, not going to be able to play that lean out forehand necessarily. Going to have to maybe go to that turnaround backhand, and Joel just has to settle for par by chipping up around the side here.
Do you say crayfish or crawfish, Connor?
I say crawfish, but I've definitely seen them written both ways and said both ways, so. What do you say, Nate?
I think I say crawfish. I might have said crayfish, and I think I got some heat from it.
Yeah, I think...
But I learned that they're the same animal.
They are. I think the beautiful thing and confusing thing about English sometimes is they have so many different words for different things and different meanings for certain of the same words, so it can be confusing. Nice
little forehand skip shot from Chris, and Calvin has broken this hole down. I mean, he's had less than 200 feet into this pin.
Just a lazy run-up AVR X3 type shot. That is so simple. And Joel playing with the second disc in his hand. I don't feel like I've seen him do that too much, just showing how little distance he has in as well. Most players don't mind putting with another disc in their hand because they're used to doing it in practice. But throwing, on the other hand, most players do not feel like they want to do it. Calvin, he's really eating this hole up all weekend and
extending the lead, Connor. He's 5 ahead of Joel, with Joel taking the par here.
Yeah, we saw that big highlight birdie putt on hole 8 kind of swing some momentum back to Calvin, and at this point he's not looking to let that go again. He wants to ride it out.
I want to see AB and Calvin play a game of guts.
Yeah, I heard stories about AB playing guts with some of the guts teams guys, and yeah, that's got to be one of the livest arms on the planet. So if you don't know what guts is, you kind of stand in a line not too far in front, and the other team has a thrower that chunks the disc at you, and you have to try to catch it or deflected. I'm not exactly sure how the points work, but I know you're pretty much getting a disc just sent right at you, and you got to react quick and try to catch it and try not to get smacked in the face. Sounds, I don't know. I'd rather just throw them at the baskets and try to catch one, you know.
Calvin's feet like never leave the ground on his
most players kind of drag that back leg on the follow through, but not the entire way up, all 4 steps. And hole 11 is going to be the hardest hole on the course. Mandatory to the left through that gap off the tee. Out of bounds pinches in here in the middle, kind of widens back up, and then as we get down to the green, it pinches once again. Out of bounds pond here on the right. Very fast ground as you get up to the green here, and most players, even on a good shot, are still going to have 350 feet in here. Anthony, let's see if he goes wide with this forehand. I've seen some players taking this. It kind of just takes that gap out of question. You just have a pine tree to filter through. Oh, yeah, nothing really actually over there.
Yeah, he hasn't been taking that route yet this week, and I really like it.
Man, yeah, I after seeing that catch cam angle, that's wide open over there. I almost wish I would have taken a look at it. Lost that one for a second, but Calvin skips out to a good spot. He's going to have quite a ways into the green, but we know he's really good at that low straight shot.
Hit that one clean.
Chris able to take that same route as Anthony, just with the left-hand backhand. And yeah, definitely seems
What's the
like
risk on that shot, Connor? I like it a lot.
it's not there if you have the power, really. The risk is very minimal if you are able to throw the backhand like Chris, or if you have Anthony's forehand power. But it does seem like you got to throw it at least 400 feet on that one to get clear. Chris hangs it out. Let's see if he gets that fast ground play, and he does. Well gauged upshot there. Maybe an explorer or something into the green there. And Calvin probably has upper threes in from there, but ripping on the mid-range.
Rock 3 nestles to 15 feet.
Yeah, he's going to be hard to catch if he's puring the hardest hole in the course. Wow.
No one talks to their disc more than Joel Freeman. Every time, Connor.
Sometimes they listen, so I think it can be worth it.
And we've got 3 players inside 20 feet.
An AB going zone?
Just go ahead and make it 4. We're going to see a start frame?
On the hardest hole on the course? That's these guys are warming up. It's the back 9. They've already let all the nerves out on the front, and it is time to play. Chris, watching that one till the end. Chains felt a little light on these baskets this weekend, so especially in the headwind, you want to make sure. Making sure to take his time, make sure he feels comfortable. Is that a brand new rock out of him? I don't feel like we saw that one. I think he was throwing one that was more of like an orange color in the past. Maybe felt like he wanted a freshie in, something he could just hit on a little harder and flatter. Anthony.
That is impressive. What a hole from this lead card.
Joel.
Turns the shoulders so early, but yeah, like you said, keeps the eyes on the target. Hole 12, 423. You've got OB. This drone is going to be flying right over this OB line here. The right-hand backhand has to kind of send it out over the OB just a bit, and this late mature tree here is the one you really need to beat. Too much hyzer, you're going to leave yourself with a long putt. The more you press the OB in that late tree, the closer you can get, but the scarier it is. And the big miss here is leaving it out and never coming back in.
Yeah, and I feel like if you didn't have that out of bounds line right, you'd see a lot of players kind of flipping one up to finish straight here, but the out of bounds line just scares you. You don't want to play a straight disc. You really want to play it overstable so you can trust it and hit it hard.
So Calvin throwing 3 different discs on this hole. He went Juggernaut over the OB day 1, straight Draco day 2, and now his most stable Draco here on the 3rd day.
Nice slippery grip.
Yeah, this course definitely will let you pick your poison in a lot of spots with how open it is, and I think it's always fun throughout the course of a tournament to make those adjustments. And you know, when you don't get a ton of practice on a brand new course, you sometimes need to still make adjustments come tournament time. You know, sometimes 2-3 days of practice isn't enough to flesh out some of these more tricky holes. Joel gonna need a little more zest on those putts if he's looking to cash them in.
Nice corner. It's good stuff.
I think I missed my calling of being a poet somewhere along the line, but commentary will have to do.
And Chris just hasn't really been threatening from Circle 2. They've been online, but just hasn't been connecting. And like, how am I going to pick up another stroke on the card? Is cash money. He's 29 under par.
Yeah, and we said earlier.
I think if you told someone that they got to 30 under par on Wednesday of this week during practice, people would have argued with you on that.
Yeah, I think we would have said, "Oh, that's a for sure winner," and I think a lot of players would have maybe thought that winning number could even been like 25. But yeah, Calvin, like we said earlier, only maybe needed 6 or 7 more birdies on the round to really feel comfortable and cruise it in, and he's getting close to it. He's really starting to lay that hammer down. He's starting to put his paws right in front of that trophy, getting ready to grip it. And as we look at that leaderboard, Alden Harris has the hottest round currently through 12 at 8 down. You see quite a bit of movement going on. Let's see how it shakes out. Eagle putting for Eagle.
Eagle. Huge make.
Incredible. That was.
Power shot after power shot after power shot finds us at another technical short par 3. 13 is going to have this mandatory left that you have to navigate. Thick, impenetrable wood line on the right. 282 feet going to play in that powerful putter range, or maybe a good touch mid-range. And I like the mix-up of this hole. Yeah, and there's that rock we're used to seeing Calvin throw, the kind of fading orange guy, and just a bit too much turn.
Someone on the internet said that Eagle should make a 7-speed fairway and call it a Calvin.
That would be hilarious. We need that. We need that, y'all.
Eagle rips a Calvin once again.
Even just a small batch Eagle. Come on. Let's get 500 made. Joel, just a bit too much turn. Usually you feel like if you beat that pine that frames up the right side, you're going to get there, but not quite the angle. Chris, I feel like this is probably a fuse shot out of him. I know he really likes the fuse for those hyzer flip to straights. He's really got that disc figured out.
This is a tough up and down. Actually got a chance to stand behind this lie, and not a fun one. Oh, it was a Madison Walker appearance. A wild Madison appears.
Calvin able to use that length to really stretch out, and he has to play a little alligator arm shot. Not able to really use anything but that last lever from the elbow to the wrist there.
That was kind of fancy.
It was. A lot of touch from Calvin. That shot might not look too hard to you guys, but it really is. And Anthony switched up to a different buzz here maybe than the days past. Interesting to see Calvin and Anthony kind of switching up some of their mid-range choices. But we did have a slightly different wind, so. Chris just been a little slow out of the hand all day, but he just puts enough on that one. You can see the relief.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Man, if he had the putter going, he could really be making a good run right now. But just not quite the typical Chris Clemons we see on, especially 40 feet and in.
That seems to be the difference these days. I mean, the circle two. If you're not connecting on a good portion of your circle two putts, you're just losing strokes to a lot of the field.
Yeah, without making 2 to 3 circle twos, you almost can't shoot a hot round unless you're just literally playing perfect tee shots and making all your circle ones.
Brian Earhart's been saying it. He thinks that 2023 is going to be the year where we see someone go 50% from circle two on the season.
That would be very impressive. I know we've seen some good rounds so far. We've seen people make 100% circle two a couple times this year, but the key to that is not to give yourself too many and to, get the momentum, make maybe the first one or two and ride it out.
All right, another hole where they're really asking the players to get the disc up to speed on a low line drive. There's one kind of tree that seems to be in the way. You kind of want to either hyzer in front of it or continue to shape the disc to the right. Get out here into the open. And then you have one pine to deal with as you approach this green, moving from left to right, and you need a little speed control as you come into this green because the rough behind the basket is so thick. And that's the tree you want to miss, and he splits him.
He said, I'm going to find the smallest gap on this hole, and I'm going to hit it. And, yeah, that's going to be a great spot. Chris going to be able to throw that backhand in here. Calvin playing over the bushes. Ooh, and, yeah, it's going to steal quite a bit of distance off of him, but he should still have maybe 400 feet into the basket. Let's see if he goes rock, eagle, or forehand.
AB doing a little dance move for us.
Little fancy twist so he doesn't lose his balance. And Joel has such a interesting aggressive thumb placement on the disc. The way he really presses kind of the tip of his thumb into the disc versus kind of like the entire pad. I feel like it's not really something you see out of all of the players. I didn't really even notice it until just then.
Yeah, Brian actually pointed that out before. I feel like James kind of does that a little bit. Doesn't have the entire thumb on there.
Yeah, I feel like I see that out of James too. And Calvin not quite penetrating as far into that spot. I don't think he'll need the basketball putt today, but if you missed that round two, he put in so many highlights. It was quite the impressive display.
Ooh, that thing drifted nice at the top of its flight. And it was actually on this hole during the round, and when Calvin's disc went anywhere near the same spot as yesterday, I looked over at the crowd, and there were a dozen plus people motioning a jump shot. They wanted to see it.
That's awesome.
And Grant Zellner from the PDGA went ahead and called this a disappointing birdie if Calvin were to not give it the basketball putt. Just because of how electric it made things.
It really was
yesterday.
Yeah. AB catches that crepe myrtle tree just doesn't quite get in. Going to the knee.
Just
Yeah, you got to
a
feel
little tentative
for
on
Chris.
the green. He's within feet of where he was yesterday. He just actually had a stance and just goes ahead and pitches that one in. But
Yeah, he probably could have taken a full length step with his long legs to the left, and he would have been in that same spot. Joel has some vines and some stuff to navigate in there. The poison ivy, the thorny vines are real here, and they'll definitely come back to bite you. I know there's a lot of players dealing with poison ivy through this Texas stretch. I know Chandler Fry had to pull out of open at Austin. I think Brandon Lotta had to pull out of this one because he had a big blister on the bottom of his left foot, I believe.
from poison ivy?
Yeah.
Oh man, Donnie.
Definitely been eating people up. I had to give Vina some soap to clean his legs off after the round today because he had to walk into it to grab a disc. So I was glad he came over and let me know he needed something because I know all too well how bad poison ivy can be.
There's that pitch. Just no legs involved whatsoever.
So effortless. And hole 15 at 372 feet. The way you have to swing it out to the left, especially with the forehand, it seems to add a couple feet of distance to the power. And yeah, really a classic power forehand hole. You put it out flat, maybe have it turn for just a second before it starts to fight back. And you just don't want to be early right here. It kind of lowers your ceiling for the putt.
Calvin first to 30 under par. He's got 7 strokes over Joel and AB. And this is a good looking forehand shot.
Yeah, and like you said, his forehand's come a long way, and that one was high. To have the power to play it that high and get there, definitely impressive. Definitely a hole that Chris, I feel like, has a little bit of an advantage. And yeah, he knows he needs to take full opportunity of this one.
You think we're coming to Brock Park next year, Connor?
I think there's definitely a chance. I think the venue is solid for running a big event. I think, with some improvements to maybe the teeing surfaces especially, and, maybe some slight tweaks to the course. I thought the course played pretty good, but I think, I think the venue is a solid one for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and I think it definitely deserves another shot with our feedback.
All right. Nice little grouping of shots right here.
Yeah, Chris furthest out at 20 feet.
Oh,
Able to connect. You can still see that little hesitation.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been able to find that putter today.
little wrinkle in the confidence there.
And when I think of Chris Clemons, I feel like 40 feet and in, I just know him as being such a solid player. So just one of those rare days for Chris. I think maybe first lead card of the year, feeling a little bit of that pressure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know y'all will. Calvin, he's cruising now on the back, and yeah, at this point, he could almost just lay everything up for par, walk this one in. Actually, he definitely could. AB locked in, focus.
Love watching him throw, man.
Yeah, AB is one of my most favorite players to watch the disc come out of his hand. And Alden Harris all the way up to tied for 5th with his 10 down through 15 holes. Only player we see in double digits right now as we step up to the technical 16th.
Another 294-foot par 3, left to right, shaping. not quite suited for the forehand. We're going to see Joel flip this gator up, but it plays better for the backhand turnover. There is a bit of a ceiling. And Calvin's going with this kind of KC style rock here.
Yeah, I feel like those KC rocks are built for these little turnover holes that we have on this course. You hit them flat and just let them drift to the right just ever so slightly.
So Adam Hammis joined Anthony Barela on the bag here, and they were kind of cracking jokes with each other. Like Adam was like, Calvin knows he can just like play for par. Like he doesn't have to keep birdieing on all of us. And you hate to use the term automatic birdie. I mean, because there's no such thing, but it feels that way, doesn't it, Connor?
The hole or for Calvin?
Just for Calvin, just the way he's playing. It feels like all these birdies are just like,
it really
like
does.
automatic.
It
and I know
almost
that
does.
that's just the appearance of it, but you know, the man is still having to shape these shots, and it seems like just routine.
He really has made it seem like that. His timing on the tee and on the green has just been, yeah, I mean, he's only had a couple misfires all weekend, and this is a course that can definitely pull some strokes out of you quick. Calvin's just never been out of control, though. He's always been right there where he wanted to be. Chris, unfortunately, unable to pick up the birdie to create another diamond for him. Here's another look at Joel. What shirt will Joel wear next? Write it in the comments. What fruit, what veggie, what's he coming with? The 17th is a par 4 with an out-of-bounds line running down this entire right side. You got to come into this gap, choose whether you want to push the disc kind of off to the right here where the drone's flying, or right around here you can fade hard left. The ground is pretty dry, so you do get big flare skips here. It's wide open out if you get far enough left, or if not, you really want to push some distance through this gap so you don't have to throw anything too testy over that little pocket out of bounds that creeps in on you. Gentle downslope behind the basket and kind of a rough line on the left at about 45 feet. Calvin crams on that one and flips up. It was going to be almost testing that would be long, I feel like, if he didn't catch a tree, but he should be able to take easy par, and AB just demolishes this disc.
That nuke is gone, dude. Wow.
That is a stable disc. I guarantee you, any of you guys throw that disc at home, the angle he just did, it's not flipping up. Not at all. And he got it to turn, not only flip up.
You know, we're not too far from where NASA is. I wonder if AB could get a job there.
I mean,
helping put the satellites up into space.
He might be the only disc golfer that can get a disc to the moon. So yeah, I think you're onto something there, Nate. Chris, unfortunately, just looks like he's got to chip up and settle for a long par. Probably going to be okay with laying that one up the way his putters felt all day. Calvin still in attack mode, pulling out the driver.
Oh, I wasn't too far off. Just a little low.
Yeah, he kind of had a pinched off flip up hyzer down over the out of bounds, but I think he figured with that forehand, even if he turfs it or skies it, he's going to be inbounds and be able to take a par. And if he piers it, he can still grab a birdie and just keep putting his foot on the competitors' throats. AB with the zone OS, you can just see how aggressive he hits on that thing, and it still comes up a little bit short. I think a lot of those discraft players are going to have to kind of figure out the range of that disc.
I think that's one of those discs that is actually harmful to the game.
I don't think so, but
not to the sport of disc golf, to the players
I think
game.
it's
Like it's gonna hurt their release angles. It's like when a player backs the tilt for too long.
You gotta learn
and
it
they're
for
all
sure.
they're all of a sudden like confused
like, wait, I
on
can't
how a
just slam
normal
every
disc flies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll have to understand that you will only really want to use it inside a 250 probably. And Joel, the great putt there.
That's a good little streak. That's 3 in a row. These strokes matter. He's having a little battle with AB here for second place.
Man, I just realized we don't have a single bogey on the back 9. This card has definitely got the round going, and AB put that upshot short, but keeps the strong putting going. Calvin was maybe a longer par putt than he would have liked, but yeah, at this point, there's really no pressure on him. He can miss that twice and still go into the final hole with 3 strokes, and he ain't gonna do that.
And we are headed down onto the sidewalk and then around the corner back up the hill to the tee pad of the 18th, where we throw back across the Greens Bayou. Look out for the alligator gar or a rogue catfish. It's a body of water that connects all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Just about 45-minute drive to the southeast to get to the bay down in Kima. And it's a par 3, 405 feet. Probably plays more like 430.
Yeah, I think so. Slightly uphill. Seems like we've had some kind of head cross most of the days. And most of these guys looking to play pretty overstable disc here. You don't really want any guesswork on whether the disc is going to fade or not on this shot.
Little headwind right to left here. AB going nuke OS.
What a luxury to just play a spike off the base. No roll away for AB. He's going to finish. And put the pressure on Joel to try to match. Joel playing a little more direct, and this is going to be a risk at catching the backside of the hill and kind of rolling down. Oh, doesn't even get to the hill.
Right. I mean, AB's parked. Joel's at 45.
Yeah, it's a
He's going
scary.
to have to send that one if he wants to try and tie AB for second.
Yeah, scary angle for Joel. Calvin a little bit high, but looks like it has the pace. Holds on the left side, and he's got another birdie putt.
He's not going to, I mean, if he goes for that putt and cashes, he's not going to shoot one round that wasn't double digits.
That is so impressive. You can see he finally threw his last tee shot, understands that the moment is here. He's going to take his final long walk across that bridge and look to tap in for his second Disc Golf Pro Tour victory of the season.
Oh, there's that hesitation from 45.
Oh,
He gets it in front of the crowd. Bridge in the background.
the body lean.
What a putt. Joel Freeman.
Yeah, solid showing for Joel. I feel like he's been so solid at the Silver Series since last year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's one of the more underrated disc golfers as far as his tournament finishes over the last, 3-4 seasons. He's one of the highest rated players in the world, and he never gets close to missing the cash. I mean, the man is always playing some good disc golf, and this man has not finished outside of the top 3 this year. Went first at Vegas, third at Waco, third at Austin, first here.
Really impressive of Calvin.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 28th annual Texas State Championships, the Innova Open at the Texas State Championships winner, Calvin Heimburg.
There it is. There's the smile. Calvin's starting to get a little more comfortable with this winning thing on that national stage. And if he continues this pace, he's gonna start knocking on the door of that world #1 ranking here soon. And
Bye-bye, disc. We'll see you in Nashville.
It's been so much fun here in Houston, Texas, seeing Brock Gold for the first time. Hopefully we can be back next year and see if we can make some improvements on an already solid track. Calvin put in the highlights for you guys all weekend. What an impressive showing. It, like Nate said, it looks so automatic, but you know, you got to work for every shot in this game. And Calvin definitely works as hard as the next guy. He's a grinder. Truly loves the game and lives for competition. It's great to see the good camaraderie from that lead card. While this is an individual game, we all enjoy seeing each other succeed, at least those of us that are decent human beings. And yeah, it's just fun to watch the disc fly.
All right, looking at that Texas State belt buckle right there.
Oh, little Kobe from Nate and Calvin.
Too much fun.
Nate trying to poke some character out of Mr. Heimburg. Always
That
great
was
to
a lot
see.
of fun, Connor. I'm not gonna lie. I love my job with the Disc Golf Network, and really thankful for the opportunity that Central Coast has given us to commentate on some of the best disc golf coverage in the business. I've been watching Central Coast since 2015, so it's really, I'm just really thankful for all that disc golf has done for both of us, man. And what a great tournament to watch, Connor. And we will see you guys in Nashville. Good work, my guy.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, y'all.